Well, hello everyone. Ah, nerves are still high. Nerves are still high. Not much better than last week, to be honest. But anyways, hello everyone, and welcome to episode 38 of the What the Sheep podcast, where we will be discussing and once again, as always, generally freaking out over Critical Role Campaign 2, episode 128. Man, I was really hoping we would get some after the tension and whatever happened. I was hoping we'd get some chill moments,
Yep.
but that
Yep.
whole episode was non-stop from the second it started.
Yeah, they haven't had a long rest yet.
No,
They are in the exact. They're worse off technically now in terms of
yeah,
abilities and spells,
yeah,
and they've got more people with them, and it's
yeah,
not. I don't think. I think the entire last episode where we're talking about like what could happen, how could it start? Here are the possibilities. And we're like, well, Caleb could attack. Like it could go to combat, but we're like, that probably won't happen. It probably won't happen.
mm,
But it did.
yeah. I
And
was.
eh,
Oh no! Go ahead if you still have another
no,
thought
it's
with
just to say,
that.
I guess they like because they talked about how they spoke about it like all
Mm-hmm.
week,
Yeah,
and they were texting each other and everything, and like their I guess their point was just like just get out of there if they
yeah,
can. So, which is fair.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I
Oh my
was
god.
I was, hmm, I don't know how to phrase this properly without sounding, a certain way, but I was kind of disappointed with the result
Yeah,
a little bit. Like my more angsty side, the side that really,
of course,
gives into
of
the
course.
into the stress and the anxiety of the situation. I was kind of like, oh, okay, oh, they're just out. Okay,
Yeah. Well, I
all
was a
right,
bit like that too. I was like, oh, okay, well, that wasn't the confrontation I was thinking that was going to happen. But then I think once Trent started speaking to Caleb and
yeah. Then I was like,
continued,
oh,
I was like, oh, okay, he's staying on top of this
yeah,
right now.
he's not
He's
done with
not
them.
letting it go.
Yeah.
But let's talk about what happened at the start.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
just straight up goddamn wall of fire again. I love
yeah.
it when
I
it
was
does that.
that shocked. I think it shocked Matt too because he was like, "That's really that's your first
Yeah,
reaction to seeing Trent? Okay, I
yeah,
guess we're going into combat." But when Matt said that, I wasn't like again, I wasn't
yeah.
thinking that Trent was gonna just go
No,
all
yeah,
out. Um,
yeah. Ugh.
but it was still the previous episode we got to see how powerful Caleb was just having his like Darth Vader in the hallway scene where he's just
Oh
crushing
yeah,
all of these people and we're like holy
oh
shit,
yeah,
Caleb is serious about this. He's
yeah.
a little unhinged. And then we
Mm.
that kind of built up again when Caleb was just trigger happy with throwing out these spells at Trent, but then Trent was just not even like phased by
Yeah,
these spells, and
yeah.
I was like, okay, yep, Trent is uh Trent is a
Just
force to
wants
be reckoned
to.
with.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, and like just his ability to just dispel it and like,
Yeah.
because I mean, yeah, I think at that point Caleb only had third level spells left,
Mm-hmm.
so it was like, okay, well, it's it's not great right now. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but he said I think the way he was role playing it too was just it was just reactionary. He was just
Yeah.
doing it. Um, I loved Veth, like taste my magic.
Yeah.
Like,
And Trent's just like,
um,
really, really.
I kind of wonder if it would have been a bit different if they had managed to like wound Trent a bit if he was damaged. Like
Yeah.
imagine if Veth had started hidden and got like a sneak attack damage on
Ooh.
Trent. Like it would be a decent chunk, and
Yeah.
that would have probably changed his opinion a bit if he was like in physical danger. But I
Yeah.
feel like he felt as though he wasn't in any danger. He was in complete control
Not
of
at
the
all. He
situation,
was
which is
toying
like
with
such a
them.
dick thing to be
Yeah.
like. It's like fuck you,
he
Trent.
was he was toying them not only with his abilities but also with like being like, you could have just asked me, like, what's going on? Like, you could have just, like, that's such a classic, like, manipulative move.
It's gaslighting. Like
Yeah.
he's like he's
Yeah.
saying,
It's like, shut up, Trent. Shut up. No.
yeah.
Um,
The thing too was like, I mean, yeah, I'm wondering what his AC is because the 17 missed.
mhm.
Did he? I don't think he cast shield at any point
I don't think
because
so.
there was Knott's attack that missed, and then Jester went, and then he tried to counterspell, so that would have been another reaction. So, I he must have some kind of fucking high AC for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, he probably has,
Which
like, maybe his, like,
makes sense.
his like, robes of protection or something that bump up his AC or
Yeah,
something like that. I don't know.
yeah.
But I can definitely imagine he probably has things that protect him
Or mate,
fairly
I suppose
well.
like yeah, he could have put mage armor on or something like
Oh,
that.
yeah, that too.
Um,
Yeah.
he's just got cool magic stuff. Absolutely right, Rishi.
Yeah, that's pretty much all it is.
Yeah,
Wizards and
can't
their
explain
cool
it. It's
stuff.
magic.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty much how
Um,
it goes. Um,
uh,
I think
yeah, but
thinking about it now, while it could just be Caleb being trigger happy with, Wall of Fire and throwing out these spells and stuff, maybe it's also he was trying to bait out another counter spell so that he wouldn't have a reaction for when Jester cast her Word of
maybe,
Recall again. Um,
maybe.
but then we obviously had that super badass moment of the counter spells
Oh
um,
my god,
going at
that was
each
like
other.
so. It was a nat 20 for the intelligence saving throw against Phantasmal
Yep,
Force. It was a nat 20 on his counter spell roll,
yep.
which
Followed up
makes me think
by
he cast it out as his lower level, and then
yep
fucking nat 20 on
on
another one. Oh my
Caleb's, yeah.
god.
But you could even tell that Matt was probably disappointed, maybe disappointed, but also not expecting that to work.
Yeah,
He seemed
definitely.
very like, okay, now how do I play this out moving forward? And then obviously he had Trent messaging Caleb later on in the episode.
I think he very much expected to have a big conversation in that room.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
we, yeah. What is it with Liam rolling natural 20s when Walls of Fire are involved? Like this is exactly
I
what the
don't
Naruto
know.
scene again.
I
Like
don't know.
God, I go back and rewatch that scene sometimes just because I love Liam's reaction to everything in that scene.
Yeah.
Just his natural 20 and the Wall of Fire. It's so
I
good.
wonder I wonder how many counter spells that the party have done that have led to a natural 20 between both campaigns. I feel like it's happened fairly
Or
frequently.
like natural
Or
20.
yeah, they roll a natural
Natural
20 for the counter spell.
I'm sure there's stats.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's a specific stat that's tracked, but I'm sure that could be figured out. Um, I'm sure. I think actually Crit Roll Stats keeps track of every natural 20, so you could probably just go through and see which ones
Oh
roll
yeah,
for
probably.
counter spells. Um, yeah, I feel like it has happened a bit.
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh my
But
god,
man,
no, it was
the
so clutch. It was so good,
yeah.
and like, and I think once he rolled the natural 20, you're like, oh, it's working. But then watching Matt like going, okay, we'll just make sure we do this right. It's
Yeah.
just like, well, it's gonna work.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
They're out. They're free.
But I guess
And then
because it felt very anticlimactic because there wasn't a
yeah,
whole lot of like, you know, flavor being fleshed out during that confrontation. And so he's like,
yeah,
okay, let's take a second. Let me fully explain like narratively what's happening so you can like visualize and sort of make it more
yeah.
cool rather than, the sort
I
of
love
anticlimactic situation we got.
I love how Matt describes counterspell as like an like tethering of magic, like it's a unmaking of magic. That's a really cool take on counterspell. I think so. Like the idea that when they clash, it's just like this anti mess that just stops.
Hmm.
I thought it was pretty cool. Man,
Yeah. Adam brings up a good point though. Trent values more than anything is control over the narrative, and Caleb refusing to comply is exposing Trent's weakness. He hates losing control, and he's bound to draw attention to him. That definitely makes a lot of sense, especially then when he was reaching out to Caleb later on, because he was like, "Nuh-uh, we're not done. We're not done
mm,
here. I still got a hand in this. We're gonna have this conversation." But Caleb just like, "Nope, nope, nope. We're done.
yeah,
We're
definitely.
done here." which definitely pisses Trent off.
He has very much, whenever he talks to Trent, it's like he does like he speaks like Caleb, like Liam does, like he speaks very kind of verbosely and almost in control, like he speak I don't know how to say it. It's like very poetic, I guess, the way he
Mm-hmm.
talks to him. Like it's maybe something you'd read in like a novel.
Yeah.
But then when he stops talking to him, it's like, oh shit, like he freaks out.
Yeah.
So he has like moments of lucidity to kind of not let on how terrified he is in the scene, I
Mm-hmm.
think. Or like it's almost like Caleb's acting when he's talking to Trent. Because
Yeah.
then when it stops, it's like, oh no, he is actually like not doing great with this right now.
And we saw
Yeah.
that a lot
Very good at
this
hiding his
episode.
emotions
Yeah.
from Trent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which I think is very interesting. Yeah, because I don't think it would be even for us angst lovers. I think it would be really upsetting if we saw like, hey, Bren comes in, it's like, hey, Trent comes down, it's like, hey, Bren, and Caleb's just like starts breaking down, crying. You'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
ah,
Yeah.
cool.
But again, while
Valid.
that also would be, you know, not the best, it would also makes like it would never happen, but it would kind of make sense because Caleb felt really unhinged this entire, sub
Yeah,
arc.
I think Trent makes Caleb feel angry more than any other
Yeah.
emotion. So
Hmm.
that's the emotion that's going to come out the most. Um,
Hmm. I
yeah,
think I feel like Caleb was probably close to tears than like afterwards when he was seeing like the aftermath of, you know, the consequences of
yeah.
what they've just done.
He was saying like this was his worst case scenario when they first came to Nicodranus
Yeah.
because they thought that like Astrid had learned about the Ruby of the Sea and all that, and it's happened. This is actually what's
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah. And I think like long ago, in our early episodes of the What the Sheep podcast, we also were kind of thinking the same thing where it's like, man, if like any of these bad guys find out that
Mhm.
the family lives out here, it's over. They
Oh
gotta
my
they
god.
gotta get out. And that anxiety induced, fear
Yeah.
of this happening was very real. Very, very real this episode.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
But before they parted ways, that last exchange they had, the "you taught me well" from Caleb, and then the "good luck" from Trent
Oh
was ooh,
god, I hate
ooh,
so
oh, it
much.
was so good though. It was so good.
Oh my god.
That's just like immediately then. Now, obviously, not knowing what happened the rest of the episode, I was like, oh, they're fucked. It's
Yeah. I
over.
was I was like, he's going back to the Cerberus Assembly. He's going to
Yeah.
blame everything on the Mighty Nine. They're going to
Yeah.
be completely wanted and
Hmm.
banned from the Dwendalian Empire. Um, but I feel like this might be worse.
Yes. And
Yeah.
here's the thing. We're probably gonna be doing a little bit of jumping around this episode because
Oh yeah.
this episode was
Just this one.
insane from
Just
start to finish.
just
Yeah,
this episode,
this
guys.
one. We normally don't do jumping around, but we'll make an exception this time. But in one of the messages that Trent sent to Caleb, Trent connected the dots of like where Caleb learned this
Yeah.
Dunamancy and stuff.
Ooh.
And given these messages, it makes me feel like Trent obviously still doesn't want to kill Caleb. He just wants him. He wants full control over Caleb. He wants him in his little spindly finger clutches. So what I think could happen, because he does have to report back to the rest of the assembly, specifically Ludinus, on what the heck happened at the sanatorium, and we were kind of talking about it last week. I'm worried that Trent is going to use this as a way to reignite the war and blame the dynasty
Yeah.
on this attack, so that it clears
Yeah.
the Mighty Nine's name, so that they're
Yeah.
allowed to stay around and stuff. And Trent doesn't have to explain that. But then that brings up a whole new
Throw Essek into the
yep,
mix by saying,
Essek,
well,
yep.
we had contact with this
Mm-hmm.
Kryn and they've gone AWOL, like we don't even know where they are anymore, but
Yeah.
yeah.
And Caleb definitely looked real shook up when Trent mentioned that he was theorizing where he had learned the magic, because obviously
Yeah.
Trent
Yeah.
probably does not give a single fuck about Essek.
Oh my god. Oh
So
my god.
I don't know. I guess
Yeah,
well,
I
because
think
they can't even warn Essek right now because they don't have any
because
spells
you got to
left.
think too. Like the Cerberus Assembly is currently under investigation. It's not looking
Yeah.
good for them. The I can't remember the name of the Dwendalian spy network, but they're pushing against them. The Cobalt Soul's pushing against them. The one thing that could possibly save them right now is another war, or being like,
Yeah.
okay, well, let's hold off that
Yeah.
investigation. We've got stuff to do. Um,
War is the best distraction.
oh my god.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not excited for
No.
for that.
No,
Um,
I'm not either. I am not either.
uh, yeah, I'm trying not to jump around too much because it's like there are some things I want to talk about, but they're like right at the end of the episode.
Hmm.
But let's try and get back on chronological order.
Yeah,
So
so
they got to Nicodran.
they
Well,
both
Bo eventually
yeah.
caught up with the team Audi.
Yeah.
Um,
They're able to get to Nicodranus, a brief conversation at Veth's abode, but Luke
yeah,
and Yeza were not home. And that's where we received the first handful of messages from Fred,
yeah.
sort of being like, I got to explain this now to Ludinus.
Ugh.
You could have just asked me, like, what's going on? I thought he was talking like they're like buddies. So like, you know me. You could have just
Yeah.
you know asked me. It would have been fine. Ugh.
Ugh.
Ugh. Gross. What a gross man.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, no, it's not good because now also he's like he's interested. He wants to know what's happening
Yeah.
as well, which I
Yeah.
think they were very much trying to not let him on about
Mm-hmm.
everything that's happening up north, which by the way, I've just completely forgotten about. Like that's
Yeah.
still such a huge thing, but there's so much going on. Remember like
Yeah.
2 episodes ago where we're like, oh man, they're in Nicodranus or in Amon. It's so casual, it's so
Yeah.
relaxing. This is a nice small little respite
Yeah.
from Islecross.
Yeah.
But let's not forget the main mission, guys. But holy shit, these last 2 episodes, it's
Yeah.
just
Have
like,
been
ooh,
crazy.
they're just adding on more stuff, and there's still the stuff in Islecross, and oh,
Yeah. Well, this is kind of like what I said, where the episode where we had the Boyasha date. I was like, this is probably the last chill episode we are going to have for a while. And
yeah, I
now,
wasn't expecting this. Like,
yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think anyone was, but given their current situation and what they still have down the line in the background, they're not gonna. It's this roller coaster ain't stopping anytime soon, at
oh
all,
my god, god
and it
damn
does not
it.
make me feel any better about
Oh my
about
goodness.
this whole thing. But eventually, the party does reconvene.
Thank
Well,
god.
did the party reconvene at Veth's
At
home?
yes, and then they
Okay,
went
and
to
then
the chateau together.
oh yeah,
Well, no,
they went to the
they
market
went to the
first.
beach.
Or yeah,
Yes. Yeah, they wanted to attune to the necklaces
yes,
first. So they
yes,
went to the beach via the market, saw Yeza,
yes,
gave him a message, and then went and hung out on the beach, which is where we got Yasha's
yes,
talk with the Storm Lord,
yes.
which I
Looking at
thought
my
was
notes.
really interesting. Um, I feel that scene in particular, I feel like at a few points where everything kind of happened, where she's talking to him, then walking back, and then Jester speaks to her. It's very quick. There's no real kind of breaks of silence in that moment. But I feel like looking at Matt and a lot of those things, he looked like maybe he was preparing to say something, but like it was just kind of like
Yeah.
other things kept happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if Matt was going to have any kind of like input, like saying like maybe you feel this certain way, or like get her to make some kind of check, and it just never came up.
Mm.
Um, yeah, because I feel like she didn't get any yes or no, or like um yeah, like no feeling whatsoever, which
Mhm.
I feel like Matt is generally pretty good at least giving something to the players. So
Yeah.
I feel like yeah, it kind of it he didn't have a chance to come out with it naturally, and then it kind of the moment was gone
Mhm.
a bit. But her asking to be the champion of the Stormlord is like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, that was badass. I would imagine she'll probably have like a dream in the
Yeah,
coming days that'll
you know, in a downtime
yeah,
moment.
when they happen to get downtime. Yeah,
Oh
definitely.
my
Um
god.
but it was very sweet of Jester to perform that ceremony
Yeah,
for a
yeah,
very
that's really
nice
sweet.
moment between the
Um,
two.
yeah, that's a cool spell, and it's one that doesn't get used much because it's
Yeah.
like
It's
it's
very yeah.
such a specific spell with what
Mhm.
it can do. And often only like the different variations are often only once per person, so it's like you've got to like time it
Yep.
right. But you know what? They I hope they remember
Hmm.
because that means Yasha still has a D4 to all her saves
Oh.
for like 24 hours.
Oh
So
yeah, that's true.
wait, she's in the ball. Uh,
Oh. Well, it was almost really
was it
clutch.
24? Was it 24 hours of the material plane or in the pocket? I don't know.
Oh yeah, that whole thing at the end like, confused
Oh
the
god, that
heck out of
hurt me.
me. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So I think yeah, it
just
was yeah.
yeah, we'll get to it.
Yeah, yeah, it was a little
Let's
confusing.
not start that now.
Yeah, no, well, that'll take up the rest of our time. But then as Adam said, another point that I was gonna make was that Jester implied that she could marry
Yeah.
Bo and Yasha, and
Yep.
I was like, oh, that would be so cute.
Yep.
That would be so adorable.
I think what's the actual like wording of that spell? It's like because it's that's like casting magic to perform a wedding, which is
Mm.
excessive as hell.
Yeah.
Um, but it's like, yeah, wedding. You touch adult humanoids willing to be bonded together in marriage for the next. Oh, actually, that's really good. For the next 7 days, each target gains a +2 bonus to AC when they're within
Ooh.
30 feet of each other.
So they should probably
Oh,
just so they should probably get married now, right? Just for the AC
yeah.
benefit.
I suppose they're willing to be bonded together in marriage. If they weren't fully
Ah.
committed, it might not work. But a creature can benefit from this right again only if widowed.
Oh.
It's terrible. That's a really good point, Leah. If they do that, it's the traveler is the one like blessing their wedding, which is
Yeah.
hilarious.
Hmm. Not
That'd be funny as
sure
hell.
how
23.
that would work out. 23 AC bow sounds great. Dang. Dodge tank for real. That is
Man.
that is pretty insane.
Oh my
But
god.
thinking of Yasha wanting to be, the champion
Yeah.
of the Stormlord, it's interesting how she still feels like she's searching for her purpose. Because
Yeah.
before she wasn't really sure what she wanted, but then she's like, well, what I think I want to do is protect those that can't protect themselves.
Yeah.
But now it seems like she's like, well, still don't really know what I want to do. It feels like she's on the right path. She just has to, settle on the title, I guess, of what
Yeah.
she ultimately wants to
Yeah, and
do.
like some kind of purpose in that as well,
Yeah.
because yeah, well, yeah, which is what we said. But
Hmm.
she was talking about that on Talks Mark and Ashley about like how everyone's been asking her what her
Yeah.
purpose is. Um, so and we've talked about too, like
Yeah.
protect. She's a protector Asimar now, so it kind of makes it like makes sense. But I don't also think Ashley is like she doesn't play as though she's limited to just because she's a protector Asimar, she has to be a protector.
Yeah.
Um, it's just more that's more just character growth. Um, but yeah, no, that was it was really cool. I, li- I like how she talks to the Stormlord. Like
Yeah.
I get that she's like I know that Jester and Caduceus and Ford speak to their gods differently, which is really
Hmm.
funny too. Because Travis's reaction to that is hilarious. He's just like because he doesn't really talk to the Armand that much.
Yeah.
Um, but uh, yeah, I love how she's just so casual about it because she just doesn't know how to like pray, I guess.
Yeah.
But it works, and it's just getting her ideas out and getting her thoughts
Hmm.
out, so that hopefully he hears. Uh, which who knows? I
Yeah,
reckon a dream will be coming.
yeah, yeah.
That's really
I'm sure. I don't think Matt would just leave it at that. There's no way, especially since they're gonna want to try to, utilize the Holy Avenger as soon as possible.
Oh my,
'Cause
yes,
that is a
please.
badass weapon. But
Yes,
we'll have to see. I
please.
wonder if Yasha will multi-class into Paladin, or if they'll just work around that and
I
not
think
go
I'll
that route.
work around it. I feel
Hmm.
like yeah, again, this is something they brought up on Talkspark about how like Matt isn't so restrictive of like, well, you're not a
Yeah.
paladin, you can't use a sword. It's like
Yeah.
let's find a way
Hmm.
to make it work. Which I mean, it's D&D. It's meant to be fun, so why
Yeah.
not make it fun? Why not be? You're not going to be like, here's a sword, you can't use it though, unless you
Hmm.
change this critical aspect of your character.
Yeah.
Um, some DMs might play raw, and
Hmm.
that's fine. But I think the type of DM Matt is, it's like he's
Hmm.
open to changing it a bit.
And
Yeah,
Yasha's situation definitely makes more sense to sort of work around it and stay on the path of the barbarian,
she's
rather than
already kind
with.
of got she's part of the zealot, so she's
Hmm.
kind of close
Yeah,
anyway.
they're
Um,
pretty much the same. As opposed to, with Ford, he was explicitly like severing ties with his patron and then
yeah,
following a new path.
yeah. He literally made a pact,
Yeah,
like not a
yeah,
pact, a pact. Yeah. Wait,
yeah.
what's it? What's it? What's the paladin thing called?
A
Oath.
oath. Yeah,
Oath.
yeah. I was it's like it's not
Pact, oath,
like it's
path.
kind of
There's
like
so many
pact, but not
goddamn
really.
things.
Yeah, oath.
Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. We know
But yeah,
D&D.
yeah, it's fine. um, I mean, we do. We got it right.
Yeah, yeah.
uh, yeah. So that was
Was
good.
was it also on the beach that they were talking about the crystals that Beth
Yeah,
found?
yeah, I think so.
I believe it was
Um, oh,
almost like
which
synthetic in nature, as Matt was saying.
the fact that he still has them
Hmm.
means that he's still doing it.
Yeah.
Like, because even though they've got like the cool tattoos and whatever, like the more intricate designs, he's not just going willy nilly on the arms.
Hmm.
Um, means that yeah, he's still using them to some extent, which Caleb saying he wants it as evidence is
Hmm.
great, and his correlation between I suffered abuse as a child, and I hope there's an organization
Hmm.
that would care about that, like the callback to Bo,
Yeah.
and like what she suffered as a child, I thought was really beautiful. And yeah, she's like, yeah, she's just like, yeah, this is definitely something the Cobalt Soul would be interested in. Um,
My
yeah, because
issue my issue is that yes, the Cobalt Soul would be the best third party to try to
yeah,
expose this. However, it's gonna have to be the Cobalt Soul because the rest of the assembly members probably know or at least have a good
yeah.
idea of what Trent's doing, and they don't care enough to stop him.
Well, I
Um,
don't think so because I think they have some idea that he is because like Ludinus has spoken about it, saying about how his training methods are intense,
mhm,
but they I don't think they've gone into full detail of like the actual torture aspect of it. I feel like they probably know, like I said, that there's something shady, but
mhm,
I don't know if they know exactly. Not saying that they would care if they found out, but
yeah,
at the same time, like, but you got to think too, like in the assembly, you got like Ormond Haas. Like,
mhm,
I struggle to think like Ormond Haas would be okay with learning about extreme torture on children.
yeah, that's true.
Maybe he's yeah, or like there's even like in other Cerberus members in the book, there's like some that are good.
Yeah,
Like I get that they probably know some aspects, whether or not the full extent of the crimes are known.
mhm,
That being said, I still don't think they're the organization to fix it or change it.
mhm.
Um, uh, but yeah, the Cobalt Soul would be the one to go. They just ah,
Now
sorry.
the puppy made
I saw the door. I
made
saw
his
the
way
door open,
in.
and I was like, "Did it just open or did a dog come in?" Was my first thought, and I'm so
Yeah,
pleased it was a dog. That was
just to
adorable.
say hi. Speaking of dogs, where's Nugget? What's
You skipped ahead there, nigga.
Yeah, I did.
I was gonna get to that.
We can shelf that for now. We can shelf that for now.
Issue related to pets that we can also get to.
Oh yeah, true. Oh gosh, everyone else realized.
We'll get to it now quickly. I reckon Blued would have just taken Nugget with him.
Yeah,
like it's fine.
Yeah, it's an easy write off.
Nugget snapped somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
I don't think Nugget can play no travel, but Nugget's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, even I can't repeat that, Curtis. Even with all my angst, that I can't repeat that.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. We'll let's not.
If you want to know what Curtis said, audio listeners, you need to check out our video. It's not good.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
But yeah. So they're on the beach. They got off the beach. They went to the lavish chateau. Where, so he got another natural 20 on the perception check.
There were some pretty good natural 20s as well.
Got a ping that there was 2 individuals that looked a bit shady.
Mm-hmm.
But we got Jester talking to her mother, which was
both conversations.
Laura was crying before
I know.
he even started speaking to her.
Like whenever Laura cries, I cry. Just because it's so sad. It's so sad because then I imagine Jester crying. That's not happy thoughts. But here's where Caleb is then going to feel even more guilty about the whole thing because now he's seeing the consequences of what's happening and how negatively it's affecting those closest to him and their families. Oh, dearie me.
Yeah, this is if you start last week on What the Sheep, if we're talking about theories of what was going to happen, I did not think Marion Laveau would be plane shifting at the end of this episode.
Yeah. True.
No, fucking hell, Matt. Sorry, I'm swearing way more this episode than I normally do. Matt is such an incredible actor. Whenever he plays Marion, it's like a complete. He goes so hard into that character.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about how when he plays Artigan, it's just him having so much fun with the character and he's so natural as Artigan. But he's equally as natural as Marion, I think. His body language and the way he speaks and the way he looks at Laura or any of the other characters, but specifically at Jester, at Laura. Oh, it's wonderful. He's so good.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it so hard because it's you get feelings of I get feelings of my own mother, and I'm like, oh yeah, I would want to protect my mom. Oh no, she's scared. I've got feelings of how I feel when my mom's scared. It's oh God, no, I hate this. I hate this so much. Yeah,
it's always the hardest.
That was my response to the scene, just
yeah. I'm just gonna shrivel up. I'm gonna shrivel up and cry. I'm gonna try not to cry, but then fail and just cry really hard. Yeah, but then the little exchange of Marion saying, "All I've ever wanted to do is protect you," and Jester being "Oh well, now it's my turn," and Marion being "Oh, you're growing up so fast." And Jester in the back of her mind, she's like, yeah, I'm growing up real quick.
Yeah.
A little too quick. 5 years quicker.
Yeah.
I don't think she really needs to tell Marion.
No.
That. Especially not now.
Not now.
Definitely not now.
Yeah. No, that's added pressure that's not needed.
Yeah. But it's this entire episode, it's every few minutes we were just constantly reminded of the intensity of the situation they're in. Because, they're having these conversations and they're all very sad and stuff. And then it's like, suddenly it's like, okay, we like get ready to like pack your things. We gotta go.
Yeah.
Like this place is compromised. It's like, oh, you're right. Like,
And then
you all gotta keep
it was like,
moving.
it was probably like 3 minutes later of go, 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 we've got to go now. Oh, I
Yeah,
suppose maybe 5 minutes, but yeah, it's like, no, that's it, we're going.
yeah.
Um,
hmm However,
yeah,
let's also not
uh,
forget about the. Well, I don't even know if they're doing this now. But sending Marion to the gentleman.
yeah, I think they're gonna keep thinking about it because I think the
Yeah.
plan now is just to get out of Nicodranus, and the plan was to go to Zadash, but they might talk about it next episode of like, well, are
Hmm.
there any other options? Um,
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like their shift to potentially the fire plane or whatever it's called,
we'll
elemental plane
talk
of
about it.
fire.
I got notes.
That's just a placeholder. Uh, you know,
Yeah.
place of
Um,
refuge.
and because too, it felt like when Laura was talking to her, when Jester was talking to her mother, and it's like she's like, where would we go? It's like, okay, you're
Yeah.
gonna think I'm pulling your leg here a bit, like you're gonna think I'm thinking
Yeah.
this is a
Yeah.
joke, which it did
Mm,
kind of start off as, but then it was like, okay, well, it might be a legitimate place to go.
yeah.
Um, yeah, that that bit before too, when they were talking about going to the gentleman, and like I think Taliesin said he had feedback or something in his ear and he didn't hear it
Yeah.
properly. That was so damn funny.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I thought
That
that
was
was just
good.
Caduceus being Caduceus.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
yeah, that was wonderful. I love those little moments when you can use
Oh,
communication.
Andrea brings up a good point. Ford's ring of fire protection. If they're going to the elemental plane of fire, hey, it might actually see some use. Wow, who'd have thought?
My God.
What a great
I
investment.
do want to talk about the plane shift. We'll definitely get to
Yep,
that because
yeah,
I've got
yep. We
thoughts.
will. We will get there. Um, but then, obviously, terribly sad, depressing conversation between Jester and Marion. But then another interesting and equally depressive conversation was with
Yes.
Beth and Yeza and the potential of Beth. Well, it's not even like a potential anymore. It's like
She's saying
basically
it.
a for
Yeah.
sure Beth is done after
Yeah.
these story arcs wrap up.
It's hard to say though because it's like she's saying she needs to do this. Is she just talking about the tomb takers? Is she also talking about the Cerberus assembly? Like,
I, for me, it made it seem like the Tomb Takers thing. Like once the
yeah.
Tomb Takers and that city are taken care of, she's done.
I just I wonder if that has changed instantly with them now being like actively pursued by the Cerberus assembly because I feel like she's always said she would like help Caleb.
Yeah.
Um, so I think it would be heartbreaking if she left before that was sorted.
hmm
Um, but I mean, she's got to do what she's got to do for her family.
Yeah.
But we've always said too about how Matt role plays Yeza as like he's never going to say you should come home,
Right.
um, because he wants, I guess, Veth and also Sam to have that choice of when Veth
hmm
leaves the party. But she does seem pretty damn adamant. She has
Yeah.
seemed adamant before, but this also
True.
feels a bit more solid. Um,
Especially because she made the point of she is bringing the danger to them.
yeah,
And she
yeah,
doesn't want to have to do that ever. She doesn't want to put her family in danger. So the
yeah.
guilt of that is definitely caused for wanting to step out of the spotlight for a while.
It's really sad. I think also, yeah, her promising it and promising not to die so that she comes back is like, oh God, that's like asking to
Yeah.
be killed. Um, but I guess the only positive takeaway from it would be the return of Tarry and Darrington to
Oh
the campaign.
gosh, imagine. Oh, that would be so good.
It would be
Oh my god.
so good. It would be
I wonder if
so
Matt would
good.
allow that. I mean, maybe because if I would imagine Tyrion would only be around for a while. Because I imagine if this isn't if the Tomb Takers isn't the last story arc, um, the final story arc, if it's even more, cataclysmic, they would probably rope Veth back in somehow, and then Sam's new character can just take the backseat again. Um,
Yeah.
so I could imagine if Sam was only gonna have a new character for a little bit, I would hope that Matt would let Terry come back at least for a little bit. That would be so good.
Man, do you think like because we've got okay, let's see, we've got the Cerberus Assembly maybe after the Tomb Takers. Like
Mm.
we've definitely got Trent now, but there's Tomb Takers and Cerberus Assembly. There's the trial of Arcanist Xenoth that they
Yep.
want to get involved with.
Mm.
Um, there's Yasha's uh I'd say probably her end of her arc if she
Yeah.
becomes a champion. But like if you just become a champion of a god, I want to see what happens next. Like I want to see
Yeah.
what being a champion looks like. And then we've got like I mean
Ukatoa still.
Ukatoa. Yeah, I was thinking about Ukatoa, like, can they go and retrieve the orbs that have already been placed? Like,
I don't know.
can they unbreak the seal? Um,
Probably can't
by
unbreak it, but
but yeah, that could be like one shot territory maybe of like,
mhm.
sealing those two back up again. I
Yep.
think both are completely underwater, so they would have to deal with
Yeah.
that a bit. Um,
Yeah, and the temple collapsed as Lynn. Yeah, so
yeah.
probably not retrieving those orbs anytime soon, sadly. But yeah,
Yeah.
there are a lot of story arcs um, still
Yeah,
left.
so it's kind of weird to think of Veth not being there for some of
Hmm.
them and this random new person being there.
Yeah, it would be
Like,
kind of a
or Sam not being there if they don't decide to roll a character.
oh
Um,
yeah. I would hope that Sam would
yeah,
create something to stick around. We need Sam's chaotic energy at the table. We need it.
Sam might be his daughter from campaign 1. That
Oh,
it might be too fan servicey, but imagine if he did come back as like Scanlan or something, like as that is a tie into the campaign 1. I feel like of all the characters to kind of work as like joining would maybe be Scanlan.
I could see
I
that.
don't know.
I feel like I would sooner.
Sam.
I think I'd sooner seen Vex. Well, I don't know, because Vex has her family.
Yeah. Grog's old, Percy's old. Keyleth maybe, but she's busy being a leader.
Yeah, she has her mom now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That could
probably
be Scanlan.
Scanlan. Scanlan.
You heard it here first, guys. Scanlan is coming to the
Yep.
Bogeyman.
Scanlan's coming. Canon. It's
Yeah.
happening. 100%.
He's a level 20 bard. Like that might be overpowered
Oh
for the
my
Mighty Nein.
gosh, that'd be too
Yeah.
good.
But I think yeah,
Too good.
Tarry makes a lot of sense. Whether or
Yeah.
not they'll do it is the thing. It could just be a brand new character.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's probably what it'll be. But
Maybe.
my gosh,
Also
would it be
Tarry.
cool to see Terry again? And we already got the Terry foreshadowing way back earlier when Pumat was reading Terry's book.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
who knows? Who knows?
Oh my goodness. So what happened next?
Well, then the whole issue with
Oh,
the two people in the bar.
bus boy forward. He's. I don't know if that was how he wanted that to go. I don't think it's how Travis wanted to go, but I feel like Ford could have talked his way out of that
Yeah,
situation.
yeah, he could have. He could have.
Um, that was hilarious.
Or the
Just
busboy.
and then later Cad just throwing shade of him, like it was the least inconspicuous thing he could have done,
Yeah.
of like pretending to work at
It
a
was a
place.
bad idea.
Yeah, that was really funny. Uh, but yeah, that was super stressful when like Blood was talking to them and they cast the spell.
Ooh, yeah.
You're like, okay, who are these people? I didn't click for me at all that it was Astrid and Aewolf. Like I
I
thought
didn't.
maybe it was just some random Volstrucker or I thought I was thinking like maybe it's like agents of Lord Sharp, like trying to get
Yeah,
back at Jester. I was trying to think of any third parties that it could possibly have been, um, but no,
I
it was the obvious answer.
when he said Marquesian and stuff, I was like, what accent did Vera have? Avantika's first mate or
Yeah,
lieutenant or
she had some
whatever. It
kind of
was I think
like
it was something kind of like that.
yeah.
So I was like, is it Vera? That would have been
Ooh, that
something.
would have been fuck. That's yeah. I'm so glad it wasn't a third
Yeah,
party.
yeah.
Oh,
They have
that
too much. They have too much
that
on
would
their plates.
be
But yeah, I
hard.
had no idea. I was like, who could these people be?
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
we skipped Caleb's talk with Luke.
yes, I was gonna bring that back up as I do have it written down in my notes.
Yeah,
Um, again, it's like
that was
like Caleb is always like, I'm a monster, I'm a irredeemable monster. But then he has really touching moments with Luke, wanting to
yeah.
teach him magic and
And it's very also forward thinking, I guess, of Caleb, if that makes sense. Like
yeah,
he's looking to the future to some
hmm
extent, which is can be really hard when
yeah,
like you feel that way. So so yeah, him actually thinking of like, oh, here's something maybe I'd like to do in the future, or like I am planning for the future at least.
hmm
Um, which is yeah, it's big.
yeah,
Uh, but I like the idea of him training Luke um magic. That's really sweet. And also
yeah,
staying in the Brunato family, staying connected with them. Like he's not
hmm
just going to go off and leave and never see them again.
yeah,
Um yeah, it's
definitely.
nice.
And it's cute then seeing Luke being able to follow in her mother's footsteps and becoming a rogue and all that
Yeah,
stuff, being sneaky, but then
or a
also
wizard.
multi-classing into or then becoming a wizard, and sort of dabbling in both. It definitely feels very fitting given how close Veth and Caleb are, for then Caleb to want to
And
impart some knowledge
his
onto Luke as
emphasis
well.
on them being like an empire family, like kind of
Hmm
call back to his own
Yeah.
family, which is cute, but also like, what's he getting out of like, talented young child,
Uh.
powerful wizard teaching
Yeah.
you things. Like he's trying to break the cycle, I know, but
Yeah. Yeah.
the parallel's not lost on anyone, I
hmm
don't think. But at the same time, it's like, okay, but this is a shift away from what happened to him.
Yes.
Hopefully,
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
hopefully,
Fingers crossed
Caleb
Caleb
gets.
doesn't take his dark side arc, even though I also do want his dark side arc.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get it.
Probably not.
He did talk about sacrificing himself,
Oh
um,
yeah.
but that was quickly shut down. Um,
Yeah, and
it was
definitely
it was
makes
shut down
sense.
on a practical level. Like
hmm
it was. I think Bo was like, "No, we're not letting you do that," but also everyone else was like, "Yeah, we need you to teleport us." Like it was,
Yeah.
um, yeah,
Kind of need your magic, Caleb.
yeah. Um,
But before we dive into anything else, because we're about to get into the
ooh,
we're
the
about to get
non-stop.
into the stuffy stuff. Let's look at some fan art. Let's look at some fan
Yay!
art.
Oh thank God.
Let's
Show
take a
mine.
bit of a break. Take a bit of a break, shall we? Starting off with Alana's fan art. This is pretty much what
I
Veth.
yeah.
This is pretty much Veth when she gives up her life of adventure, just pure happiness. By at
I
Bon Bon Gives Hell on Tumblr. This is Tumblr on Tumblr.
I
Um,
just very much needed it after the
yes,
episode.
we all.
I was like, I'm gonna find. Well, I didn't set out to find cute Veth art. I was just
Mm-hmm.
like, oof, it hit me, and I was like, oh God, okay, that's nice. That's a nice relief from the episode that we had.
Yep.
Um, it's just really sweet too.
We all
Oh,
we all need to be rolling around in a field of flowers, buttons.
And
whatever it is.
flowers, yeah.
Probably flowers. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just nice. It was like a nice
Yes.
little break from the horrors of the
Oh
day.
God. Oh, we just we need it. We need a break already.
Did you pick a fan art that's going to be like like
Oh.
Ickathon spells or something?
No, no, mine is not that. Mine is equally as wholesome.
Okay, good.
Um
Good, good, good.
we have the forester back on the beach
Oh,
having a little
oh, that's
beach date. Because another
incredibly
moment that I really liked this episode was Jester French braiding Ford's hair when they were on the beach. A small little moment.
I love when artists draw her with a love heart tail.
I know,
Um,
it's so cute.
such a feature. Um, I love the idea too of Jester having a Polaroid camera.
Yeah.
Like, I know that just a sketch.
Who do you think
Just
took this picture? Who do you think took
yeah.
this picture?
Think of how many like goddamn candid shots there would be.
Oh my gosh. So many. So
Yeah,
many. I love
that's lovely. That's
Ukatoa.
pretty.
Ukatoa in the
Mm,
background.
yeah, Tusk son.
Yep.
Oh, that was a joke in the episode too when like when Caleb gave Luke the books and said you might be a bit too young for this book, maybe in a year's time, and someone said
Oh
Tuscalon.
yeah, Tuskla. Oh my god. That was so funny. That was so good.
Yeah,
Ah, see, it's like even in these high and intensive anxiety
yeah,
filled episodes, they still have these hilarious beats.
and I think you need to
Yeah,
because
yeah, you
otherwise
really
it's
do.
just too much.
You really do. This was art by @loomink_ on Twitter.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful art. Ah,
Okay.
well,
We can't escape talking about
we
everything
can't
that happened
escape
now.
talking about it.
So I want to talk about Astrid and Edward.
Yes,
Um, I
it
because we
definitely caught me off guard that it was them that were
because we
there.
talked about last week about like did we trust Astrid, and I was on the trusting Astrid camp, and then
Yeah.
Kira kind of said some things, and I was like, oh, but
Yeah,
I trust her. I do.
I do
I
as
feel like
well. Yeah,
either that or I'm a sucker, and it's the longest long game of all time. Um,
yeah,
her last like because they kept saying like, well, you said Trent wasn't going to be there, yada yada yada. I
yeah,
feel like that was just an explosion went off and they sent an
yeah.
alarm and he
Like
came.
they
I
can't blame Astrid for that. Astrid did say, "Get in there and get out. Don't make noise. Don't alert anyone." But they kind of did the opposite of that.
but it's heartening, I guess, to think that they one still have some shred of care or loyalty maybe to Caleb to
Mhm.
do this to kind of go against what they were
Yeah.
sent to do.
Hmm.
Um, and Aeldwulf was very not comfortable in that situation, I don't think,
No.
but even he had that sense of, care and loyalty and friendship.
Yeah.
Um,
But it's clear that they do still care about Caleb because they also made it very clear that they were not doing this for the benefit of the party. They were doing it for him, for Caleb
yeah,
specifically.
yeah,
Um,
which is just made me feel good, I guess.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. It felt validating knowing that we were in the right to trust Astrid.
I feel like Trent's a bit stupid for. I know that Aedwulf and Astrid are like his best agents,
Yeah,
but he's stupid, I think, in the sense of his ego, or he's stupid in the
he's
sense of
arrogant.
his arrogance. That's the right
Yeah.
word. Um, to think that he thinks he is in control, but
Hmm.
fucking Astrid gave away secret plans to his building. She's
Yeah.
giving warnings to the people she's meant to be tracking. He's so arrogant that he thinks he has the control over them
Yeah.
and doesn't realize, oh shit, no, like their loyalties might lie somewhere else,
Mm-hmm.
despite how conflicting it is for them.
Yeah.
I wish I didn't read that comment. Cool Cat. Cool Cat says, "I think
Ooh.
he's testing Astrid and Edward." What have he?
I had kind of also thought that as well, and I'm not going to jump ahead this time because I want the ending to be a whole conversation in itself.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think it's very possible that Trent is testing Astrid and Adolf, seeing where their loyalties really lie.
Yeah. I don't like that thought.
Pretty,
I don't
pretty,
like that
pretty
at all.
worried about that.
There is a part though where it's like, at what point do you make your big bad too powerful?
Hmm.
Like, like I get that it's Trent's job to know things, like that is his whole deal.
Yeah,
Um, but he can't know everything. Uh, but I suppose these things are really close to him, so he probably has a decent idea of them.
yeah, at least a little bit.
But you've got to, like, as in, you've got to let your characters in D&D, you got to let your players in D&D have some sense of privacy, or at least some sense of safety when it comes to either planning or, um, you know, trusting or talking to
Hmm.
NPCs, um, unless it's been explicitly stated that no, you're watched at every moment, which I think it was the case for the Tomb Takers. Um, of like they knew that it's like, oh, we're talking, but we know they're listening.
Yeah,
But I feel with Trent, you got to have a little bit of safety for them to feel comfortable to talk about it. And they did everything right. Like they got the necklaces, and like I said last
hmm,
week, I don't think Matt was going to um punish them for getting the
yeah,
necklaces per
exactly.
se. But does require attunement. It is like, what are they
Yeah,
losing because of it?
mm.
Um,
But I feel like it's worth it. It is very much
yeah.
worth it,
Yeah.
at least for
I would
now.
like to know what everyone unattuned to. Um,
Yeah, yeah, they probably
like
lost
unattune
some
yeah.
big magic weapons or items
Ugh.
rather.
Yeah.
But again, even like this conversation, like Astrid and Aelwulf being there, just intensifies the situation even more because then they themselves are like, you guys gotta go, like now.
Yeah.
You guys
I
need to
I
get
was
out of
like,
here.
can we have a night? Like, can we
Yeah,
when Veth followed them, and yeah, like Veth
yeah.
followed them
I
and
I I, I
Trent
didn't
there.
think Trent was
Like,
actually gonna be here.
what the fuck?
Yeah,
What the fuck?
yeah,
I Yeah, I was not expecting that. And I don't know why I wasn't expecting that. I think it was because I thought, like I said at the start, like Trent's going to be dealing with the Cerberus Assembly and all that, but he's there. I wrote in my notes Ikathon and
yeah,
Nicodranas and scribbled it. Like, I
yeah.
was so upset.
As Scully
Um,
Gully in chat says perfectly, Trent Angie. He is very angy.
Trent Engie.
Trent is extremely angy right now.
Oh.
Yeah, it's that's like sound the alarms. Like he is
Yeah.
literally here. Like
Yeah.
the boss music is playing in the background.
Yeah. Um, no, it is just not good.
You know, I think Beth should have gone for the kill shot while she was invisible. Had
I
Trent
thought
there.
she was going to like sneak into the compound and like listen to the
Oh,
conversation, but thank God she didn't, because
yeah,
they were coming
yeah.
real
They were
quick.
not waiting. They were not
No,
waiting at all.
but oh my God, the sudden pressure of, all right, we need to leave now. We need to literally run through the streets to
Yeah,
get somewhere we think is safe.
exactly, because before it was like, okay, we need to leave like as soon as possible. Pack your things. I'll let you
Yeah,
know when we're leaving. But then, yeah, when Beth comes back and realizes the information that Trent is here and they are literally on the way, it's like, all right, we're doing this now.
yeah.
We're going. We are going.
Mm.
I hope like Carlos and Blood are fine. I hope they don't.
Yeah, I feel, I don't know. Like, he's a fucking giant minotaur. Like, he's not easy to hide.
Yeah,
But I like the
because
thing.
Carlos and Blood said that they were still going to be closing up shop. Like they didn't leave with the party. They were still in the chateau.
Here's the thing though, like I've seen a lot on Twitter and on Reddit as well. I absolute kind of dread that Trent is going on a murder rampage. I don't
Yeah.
think he's going to go on a murder rampage per
Yeah.
se. Um, Nor do we know that Trent has actually left the compound. Like the
True.
only thing I've seen is Astrid, which
Yeah.
we'll get to in a second.
Yeah.
So it could just be that he's like they got. But you got to think of what that conversation was, because Astrid and Edward would have gone back, spoken to Trent, and been like, "What? Oh, they're not there." And then
Yeah.
he would be like, "Okay, go check the other place we know that they're from. Go check Typeak Tower." That could have been what it was. It might not have been,
Yeah.
"Oh,
It's
they're
true.
running, catch them." Like it
Yeah.
could be. I don't know. It did seem like she was chasing them more than anything, because she was like running and doing it.
Yeah.
Um,
That's probably the likely scenario where it's like, sorry, they were at the chateau. I don't know what to tell you. But then
oh,
how would they know of the connection to Use's tower? I guess it would.
they said apparently I need to go back and rewatch it, but Kylan Ray says they said we aren't here yet. So it was less that they were
Ah.
going to lie to Trent, maybe that they weren't there, more that they hadn't made it there yet.
Oh.
Yeah,
That makes a lot of sense.
yeah.
That
So
makes
maybe they
sense.
traveled separately to
Yes.
Trent, went
Okay.
there first before
Okay.
checking in with him. Yeah,
That
yeah.
does make sense.
Good call out, Kylan. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, and then Lynn mentioning Ormond Haas. That's the connection to uh, High Peak
yeah,
Tower.
yeah. Ormond Haas knows that they know Yusa.
Yep.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm hoping for an Ormond Haas kind of retribution.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. He's
uh,
Ormond's one of the good ones. He's one of the good.
yeah. Well, you know.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah, that's it too, Leah. The Ruby of the Sea running around is super obvious and super easy
Oh
to
yeah.
kind of.
Yeah. They
Um,
can follow the whispers. Yeah. Very very much so.
but
But
yeah, they made it to Typeak
boy oh
Tower.
boy, are they gonna owe Yusa big time.
Oh, it's not like, yeah. I mean, where else could they have gone?
If Yusa lives.
I think Use is fine.
Yeah, Yusa's probably fine, but
I yeah, he'll just turn into a dragon and fly away. It's all good.
okay, we got some reinforcing evidence that Yusa is a dragon. Because
Okay.
that scroll, that plane
Yes.
shift scroll was written in Draconic. Why would it need to be written in Draconic?
It was a gift though.
True, but the Pensophical probably knows that he's a dragon, and they're like, well, let's show our respect and give him a scroll, written
Yeah.
in his native language.
So let's break this down. So
Yes.
they're in Tide Peak Tower.
Yes.
Yusa is astral projecting himself like a fucking
Yeah.
kid, like in the candy bowl. He just can't help himself. I get that he's helping them and like doing
Yeah.
research, but it's like, no, Yusa, like bad. Like
Yeah.
this is,
Mhm.
get out of there if you can. But he's essentially MIA. Like he can't, his body's useless at the moment. Like he's not coming back unless someone brings him back or if he decides to come back. Which it's, I was looking up, it's like dispel magic would get him back. So
Oh, okay.
possibly Astrid could bring him back.
Yeah.
But it's like he seems like he's the type of guy to just jump headlong into something. Like he jumped into the
Yeah.
Happy Fun Ball, it didn't work out. Going into the Astral Sea to get a beat on this city seems bad, because even when Cad was there, to be fair, Cad was their body and soul. He
Yeah.
had just the worst feeling about this thing. Yus is only there with like his soul, essentially, his astral projection. But it's so dangerous. It's so bad. Like he can die.
Yeah. I
Um,
guess that's the sometimes sometimes the arrogance of
wizards.
high power wizards,
Wizards, man. But yeah, so
don't
they're
care.
trying to figure out where to go, what to do.
Oh, but Yusa's gonna be freaking pissed. when he gets out of it.
Oh
Oh,
my god.
he is
So
not
yeah,
going to be
that's
happy.
the question. Like I'm not certain Trent is in Tide Peak Tower. I think it could
Yeah.
just, this is jumping ahead to the bit, but
Eh,
I
we're
think
pretty much
it's
there
just
anyways.
Astrid. She chose not to counterspell,
Oh, that was such an intense moment.
and I think like she could go back and be like they weren't there. Like she might just lie and leave Tide Peak Tower alone.
Yeah, maybe. But I feel like that's a little risky though. I think she might just say she was too late.
It's risky, but it could also just be like her not choosing not to counterspell is like that's not just kind of giving hints and help and like saying, oh, here's how you get in the building. That's her actively not doing what she's meant to do.
Yeah,
um I think she might be in a lot of trouble for that.
yeah,
um,
yeah. Astrid's
if it,
not gonna be looking too good.
we don't know what's going to happen with Tai Peak Tower. I'm trying to stay positive and think that it's just Astrid in there and then she leaves. But Matt is also very big on consequences for your actions.
Yeah.
So has always said he doesn't want to get involved in politics and all that.
Yep. Yep.
But
But I
let's have
loved that moment of Caleb reading out the scroll and then seeing Astrid come in and then them just having that moment
yeah,
looking at each other. Caleb recognizing that she is casting counterspell, but then chooses not to. Oh, that is such a powerful moment because again, like this whole time we were like, is Astrid telling the truth? Like, can we trust her? Is she actually wanting to help them? And then
yeah,
this showed us
yeah,
that she is on Caleb's side.
yeah. Me and Lynn, high five. Trust Astrid Train.
Yep.
um,
Yep.
yeah. No, I'm now worried for her though. Like,
Yeah, and now we have to be worried about Astrid's well-being and the
Yusa's well-being.
yeah. Yep. But
But
again,
let's
Yusa
talk
will
about this
probably be fine.
scroll. I want to talk about this scroll. So Draconic, like yeah, Draconic could be a connection to Yusa being a gold dragon canon. Um, I mean, Draconic is also just a language for a lot of
Yeah,
magic in the world.
that's true.
But he said it was a gift from a member of the Pansophical. I got my book out. I was like looking
Oh,
at all the members of the Pansophical. There is a member in the Arcana Pansophical, at least 20 years ago when the book was, set,
yeah.
called Plane Rider Rin, who was a planar studies specialist.
Oh,
Could it be them? It's not really
that
important where it
that
came
probably
from,
makes sense
but it
though.
might give an indication of where it goes because they were a tiefling. Rin is still mid study, often darting between realms to complete her research.
Oh.
Um, incredibly sexist of me. I assumed it was male. Uh, yeah, so that's interesting. I mean, yeah, Plane Rider Rin. That kind of clicks, doesn't it?
That would track. That would track.
Um, so I was, yeah, I don't. Where are they? Where'd they go? Um, I always spent way too long trying to figure out where they could go because I know it's like fiery ember
Mhm.
red is how we described it.
Yeah.
There's a few places if you go by the D&D canon of
Mm.
like color associations to different planes. Like
Oh.
if you're in the astral sea, there are portals to different planes of existence,
Mm.
and they have colors associated with them.
Oh.
So I'm linking it to that. So we've got a few. This is like really stretching it.
Mm.
Rust colored is kind of like browny orange. Probably not that one. That's Hades. So hopefully not.
Oh.
You've got ruby, which is the nine hells. So again,
Oh.
hopefully not.
Yeah.
Uh, you've got flame red, which is I can't pronounce this one ever. Acheron, which is like it's a lower plane. It's like a connection almost between the hells and
Mm.
the limbo planes. Amber, Bitopia, Elysium is orange. They're the specific like kind of planes in the astral sea, but then there is obviously the fucking fire elemental plane, like
Mhm.
the elemental chaos, perhaps.
Then
That's
we
a
also have to think
hot.
of like, why would the Pansophical gift a
I
tuning
know
fork
that
to the
too.
astral, or not the astral plane, the fire plane?
Rin being a tiefling might have any kind of connection to that, like infernal heritage could
Maybe.
be the nine hells. I don't want it to be the nine hells.
Hmm.
I'm hoping it's I'm hoping it's the elemental plane of fire.
Yeah.
I mean,
Def.
I'm hoping it's a plane or something, but that's probably asking too much.
Hmm.
Um, the elemental chaos, elemental plane of fire. He didn't describe them traveling through the divine gate. He might next episode, but I'm fairly certain the elemental chaos is within the divine gate. It might not be.
Oh,
I can't remember.
well, that'd be interesting.
Because I remember every time Vox Machina would travel to different planes, he would talk about them physically passing through the divine gate.
Hmm.
Um, so I don't know. No, there is land Rishi in the fire plane. Um, that's that's where the city of Brass is, isn't it?
In the fire plane?
Yeah.
I don't know
Uh,
that. Yeah, we're.
yeah, City of Brass. I always get City of Brass and City of Dis mixed up.
Hmm.
City of Dis is hell. Let's not go there.
But then,
Uh,
sending some of the party members into the Happy Fun Ball was a really clever loophole to the
ooh,
to the eight
it's
eight people limit.
because we're talking about how like that conversation got really confusing a
Yeah.
bit.
Yep.
Because I think it was the plan was like to send people in, let them have a long rest, and
Hmm.
then get them out.
Yeah.
But that
That's
would be
not
like
how it works.
no, no.
That would be a very bad idea.
They've gone in and they're just going to rush to the exit. I don't envy Matt in having to figure out how he's going to set up the next session of like who does he focus on, because they're right.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to get to the study. It's the next stop is the dragon room where they can
Yeah.
get out. So, but you got to think it's going to take them at least a minute
Yeah.
because they get the room, get up, press the button, go cast spells, touch the thing. At least a minute. So that could be like a couple of hours, or it could be like an hour or so
Hmm.
in real time. It isn't too bad, but yeah, I think it's going to be
I feel like
one
if
hour is one day. I don't think so. I think that's way too extreme, Stormy Boy. I think it's a little less severe than that.
yeah, that sounds a little too.
They've had long, like when they were in there trying to find use was it trying to find Yusa? Yeah. Um and they found like the heart and everything.
Yeah.
Um that was like they had a couple long rests in there. And they came out probably only like a week or so later. Last time was 1 hour, 1 day, really?
Dang.
They've gone almost a month. Shit. Oh, shows what I know.
Are they?
I thought it was way less than that. Not way less, but I thought it was like okay.
Because the first time they were in there, they're only there for a couple hours, and it was like 5 days or something that they were
8 hour
gone.
rest was weak. Wow, okay. That's not good.
No, no, it's not. But I imagine if there are no issues in the Happy Fun Ball, like they get there, they immediately go to the Dragon Portal, and then they teleport
Yeah.
out. I imagine if that's
They
what
s-
happens, then Matt will
they
just be like, if you guys don't do anything but in particular, then I'll just focus on the group that teleported, and then I'll let you know when you guys come out.
yeah. Sent in the people that were okay, that didn't need a long rest.
Mhm.
Um they won't need a long rest when they come out because it'll have been like an hour for them. Like they're not going to be exhausted.
Yeah.
Um so yeah, it's good that they didn't send in anyone that was like I kind of think they should have sent in the families. Like
Yeah.
I feel like it's less dangerous than wherever they might be going.
Hmm.
Um,
Because they might be, thrust right into the middle of some crazy, you know, conflict or something. already
Yeah,
put themselves in
like
immediate danger.
the city of Brass had like slavery and
Oof.
they almost got like taken in as slaves and everything. That was Senekir. Senekir's in the
Mm,
city of Brass. Oh my god, I hope they go see Senekir. I know there's no reason for them to go see him, but he was probably one of my favorite NPCs of the first campaign. Um, what a weirdo.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I guess ultimately it all depends on where the heck they end
yeah,
up, but
true.
it definitely feels like the elemental plane of fire is gonna be it.
Yeah. And it could just be like on the outskirts. Like they could be literally anywhere in the plane of fire. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily be the city. Um uh yeah.
Oh gosh.
Oh, yeah, the oh god, no, it's too much. And like I said, like there's too much to theorize that like it's almost
Yeah.
like we're spoiled for choice. Um
But
uh
it was still like the whole episode was nonstop, and like I for a second there I thought they weren't even gonna go to a break because it just
no,
felt like there was
yeah, it was like
never
3 hours the first
yeah
half.
yeah it just felt like there was never a good time to go on break because this episode truly was just nonstop go 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 go.
They like yeah, it's yeah, it was just so stressful. Like I said, it was nothing that we possibly considered for this episode.
Hmm.
In everything we talked about last week, it was like not even a possibility, or not even on our minds, and now it's just happening.
Yeah, yeah,
um,
we got no time to think, no time to repair. It's just no planning, no more planning. Got to
mm,
think on your feet.
yeah,
It's time to go. It is time to go.
yeah. Stormy Boy says they get like if they get to the plane of fire, right next to the fire, Shari would be great. Imagine if they get near the portal.
Oh,
That
oh
would
my
be
God.
wonderful.
Yeah.
And they just skip through into Taldore.
Well, I guess
Oh
that
well,
could be a
no, not
possibility.
Taldore. That's in Vasselheim. Pyre is in Vasselheim.
Oh yeah,
Skip right into Vasselheim.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
That would be a nice change. Be nice.
yeah, I like Vasselheim.
Go back. Go back to that. Things were simpler back in Vassal.
Were they?
No, no, they weren't.
High
No,
earth crushing
they
fear.
weren't. But
Oh,
it feels like it would be better than the
yeah.
situation we're in right now.
Vasselheim's the city, Isildur is the continent. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
You knew what I meant.
yeah. It's
um, ugh, I got nothing else.
yeah.
Like,
How are we feeling? Every chat. How are we feeling? How are we feeling after that one? Let's check up on everyone. Oh, because I am still feeling the adrenaline. I am still feeling it, and I feel like it's literally not it's not ending next episode
yeah,
because they're still
yeah.
tapped. They're in an unknown land. They're tapped of abilities and stuff.
And the Tomb
So
Takers still exist.
and the Tomb Takers still exist. They still have the eye tattoos they have to worry about. The city,
I saw
too
way,
much.
way back in chat, Lynn brought up about how, like, if we're going on the pattern of the eyes appearing, like,
Yeah.
it could happen in the next sleep.
My God.
A bow is in the ball, so if Caleb sleeps and gets an eye, would bow, like, yeah, I don't know. What do I think about Liam's theory? Leo, which one's that?
Oh.
Is that? And Tharizdun, absolutely
Oh
Skilly
yeah.
Gully. Never forget
Of course.
Tharizdun.
Of course.
Oh, the vessel theory that like that like Caleb is potentially a vessel for Trent. Yeah, not sure. I think he would have just done it already. I don't think he needs a willing. I don't think he needs like a willing participant for that. Like if he wanted to
Mm,
brain jar him or if he wanted to like take control of him. I feel
yeah.
like he'd just do it.
Mm,
But I suppose he maybe wanted to try and do it legitimately, like get
mm.
Caleb into a position of power and then be like, all right, cool, yoink.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Oh,
yeah. Oy, oy, oy.
could see him doing something like that. Oh,
Yeah, we still because we still don't know what he really wants or
I
what he's getting
know.
at.
Oh, I don't even. I don't even want to know what he wants anymore. I just want him gone.
Kill it, just
I
get
just
rid
want
of.
him dead,
No, I want to know.
removed.
I want to know everything. I know we could probably just wait for after campaign chats, but
Yeah.
I want to know
I can't
what
even think
he
of the end of the campaign now, just because there's. Oh, because like before, because yeah, like the stuff going on with the Tomb Takers was pretty
we felt like
pressing
we were
matters.
winding down. Yeah, we're like, oh, this is end of campaign
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. It didn't feel like an immediate. It felt like an immediate threat, but what's happening now is an immediate threat.
Mm.
So, ugh. I mean, the party is pretty screwed. Party is pretty screwed. But again, Trent could just say that the Dynasty were the ones that broke in and reignite the war.
Yeah.
So, and that would cause a lot of chaos. And you know who likes chaos? Therisdune.
The Traveler? Oh. Oh my god. Yeah.
Wait, Travel likes chaos
Trent.
too.
Oh.
Are Tartagon's the Therisdune?
Trent is Thara's
Trent is Therisdune?
Everyone is Thara's
Oh my god. Therisdune already won. We're just living in his like dream or whatever. Oh my god. There it is. And there it is.
Like how we swapped like
Yeah, I
on
know.
that theory. Oh my
Well,
goodness
do we
gracious.
have any other thoughts, feelings, emotions, questions, concerns, crises?
Oh my goodness.
I've got nothing else. I'm tapped, y'all. I am tapped. I
Yeah,
am.
the big bad is the friends we made along the way.
Yeah, yeah. That's what it is. I mean, at least yes, Adam. At least we got Boyasha making out at the chateau. That was like our one little oasis we had this episode. Everything else
I was
was just
yeah,
shit.
I was kind of hoping at some point, and it was a very brief. It almost happened, I think, when Marion was freaking out in Tide Peak Tower. I shouldn't say freaking out; that sounds really inconsiderate. When she was having a legitimate anxiety attack,
Yeah.
in Fried Peak Tower, Tide Peak Tower. Uh, I think a split second before Caduceus started to say like I can calm emotions. I think Travis was starting to say something. I was kind of hoping he might step in as like the
Mm.
boyfriend,
Oh
like
yeah, 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 yeah.
but it's oh well. I'm sure that will happen eventually. I'm still holding out for the kind of meet the parent with
Yeah.
Ford and Marion, and then hopefully the gentleman.
Yeah. And listen, y'all already know we're about the angst here. But if I see one more person in chat say that Essek is dead, I'm gonna lose it. Essek cannot be touched.
It's
While I also on the flip side, I do think that Essek's death is, would be a reasonable end to his story arc. I don't want Essek to die.
It's fine, guys. You can keep saying it. It's okay. Don't worry. I'll read it. I'm here for you.
Oh gosh. I just
Yeah,
want.
it was a little bit like because we are the Yanks. We want the Yanks.
Yep.
We love the drama.
Yep.
But when it starts to happen, it's like, oh, do I want this?
Yeah, I was like, oh wait, I didn't actually mean it though. Hold on.
Yeah, like I didn't think it would happen.
Yeah, I said it because I thought it was just gonna be a meme. I
I said
didn't.
it because I thought I wanted it. Now I'm just like, ooh, my
Yeah.
feelings.
Yeah. Oh,
What?
did I actually want this? This is awful.
I do.
But then, yeah. But at the end of the day, I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I wanted this. I wanted it. Yeah, they need to get to him. They need to get him a necklace ASAP. Definitely. Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. Jesus, Sue. I'll be so upset if Luke, Yesel, or Marion die.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would definitely. Yeah, those are the three that cannot
that would be
be
upsetting.
touched.
Oh yeah, no, I don't want angst in that scenario.
Nope.
That is
That's evil angst.
protect NPCs at all costs. I like that.
Yep.
Oh my
That is what we'll be writing into the next episode. I believe that is going to do it for us for this episode. I feel like if we go any further, you will slowly see Alana and I have a mental breakdown, and it'll just get worse and worse. So let us all take the week to relax to the best of our ability and prepare for the next step of this story.
I think trust in Mercer. Like,
yes, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. That is all we can hope for with this coming episode. So, I suppose with all of that being said, we are going to go ahead and wrap up. Thank you all, as always, so much for joining us with this discussion / freakout session. As always, it's nice that we can collectively freak out together and experience the spectrum of emotions that these episodes give us every single week. It's always wonderful. No Hit Dice Heroes this weekend, correct?
No, and so just keep an eye on our socials. We'll be posting when the next episode is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We're getting we're in a fighting pit right now for Hit Dice Heroes, and it's super awesome. So be sure to check that out. Yeah.
If you check out last week's episode, is a really good jumping in.
Yes, it is.
Wait, did we play last weekend? I have no track of time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when we had a late What the Shit episode, that totally threw off like my grasp of like time.
Excuse me, because I'm like, I swear on the last What the Shit episode we were talking about that episode.
Yeah.
So that's what happened.
Yeah. Yeah. It was weird. It threw me off as well. That's why I thought there was an episode this week, because I was like, wait, we just had the WTS. Yeah. But yeah. Cool. Anyways, be sure to check that out. It's gonna be super awesome. So yeah, that's gonna do it for us here. Again, thank you all so much who tuned in live, and thank you to everyone who's gonna be watching this on YouTube when I upload it, and on Spotify or Anchor or wherever this podcast may find itself. I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful rest of your morning, day, evening, wherever you may be on this wonderful earth, and we will see you all next week. Bye, everyone.